Hey, welcome. In the last lecture, we simply just said if the user has already added that product their cart, their cart, then we want to allow the user to be able to increment that product by one. And what we can do now is we can have the else block. That is, if the user is yet to add that product, then we want to allow the user to add the product to their cart, Remember this variable called underscore cart items will basically store all the added products, right? But before creating this else block, what we can do is within this function, we can have the notify listener that is within this block. And remember, the notify listener will basically listening to changes we are making to this, and in this case, the increment. And over here now, we can have the else. And remember this variable we have over here is going to store all the added items. So again, we can call this variable underscore cart items. Then we can check by using dot, then a method. Since it's a map, it is called put if absent. That means the product has not yet been added, so we want to add it. And again, we want to add it based on the product ID. And now we can call the cart attribute. Remember the cart attribute is coming from the models folder. And now we have to pass in all this name. And this is it. This time around, we do not need to pass in any value over here. We can just go ahead and leave it this way. And this is it. And over here, add your semicolon. Okay. And again, we have to call the notify listener. So this will listen to changes we are making to our cart. So basically, the notify listener will always listen to changes you're making. So this is it. So first of all, we created a variable called underscore cart items to store all the products which is going to be added to our cart. And this is a private variable, so we are not going to be able to access it outside this file. So what we basically just did was to just override this variable. So whenever we want to call refer to this, we just have to call this get items. And over here, we created a function called add products to cart. And over here, we are passing all the fields because in the future, when we want to display the cart, we would also display the product name for sure, right? In the cart screen, we should be able to display the product name, the image, and the quantity, the price also, and probably the size. And now, before adding to our cart, we are checking if the product has already been added to the user cart, then we just want to update that product. And we are also calling the notified listener to listen to the changes we are making. Else, if it has not yet been added, we are saying underscore cart items dot put if as absent. Again, we want to check based on the product ID. So if it has not yet been added, then we want to add the product. And again, we are calling the notify listener. And this is basically it. So in this lecture, we created the functionality in order to add products to our cart.